This is the Merschman Seeds Ag Weather Outlook, January 20th, 2018. I'm John Felt. Well, right now, you might, right off the bat here, notice a change in our situation, our jet stream, right at the current time. Remember, we had that trough. This is what we had here. We had this trough digging down here. I talked about it for weeks, sort of digging down right in here. Well, look what we have right now. What we have is we have a southwest flow across the area. This brown shading here saying the jet stream is further north than normal. And a southwest flow usually means two things. It's usually a milder flow, and it's usually a bit wetter flow. And we can use the wetter weather because many areas are quite dry. So right now, also very, very drastic change from a week ago. Look at the red. Our source region we're looking at up here, not much cold air anymore, and we've really brought some milder air above normal temperatures into the area. Now last week was fairly active with some light snow. The more moderate snow, there were some pockets, and those are those areas of yellow. Everywhere else I think had just generally between 1 and 3 inches of snow, and the darker blue maybe some stripes of 4 inches of snow. You might have read my post about the Great Lakes this week. See how the snow on the edges of the Great Lakes has not been nearly as strong or as significant as past weeks, and that's because the lake temperature is getting colder and ice is beginning to form over more areas, so you can't get the evaporation. You don't have the warmer air of the lakes, so lake effect snow is diminishing. But we did, especially over the eastern Corn Belt, have had fairly widespread snow. Not necessarily heavy, but definitely widespread, moderate in spots. And at the current time, you can see that we have snow covering a large part of the eastern Corn Belt, large part of the upper Midwest and Great Lakes, but not so much the middle part of the Corn Belt, Iowa, Missouri, South Dakota, Kansas, and Nebraska, mainly snow-free. The reason is the warm temperatures. Well, first of all, one of the reasons is there just hasn't been that much snow in those areas. The other thing that we see here in Iowa is look at the active melting over the last 24 hours. That's indicated in orange. A lot of active melting. And that's what we're going to see over the entire area. I think not every day because we're going to get some reinforcing cold air, but most days, especially over the eastern Corn Belt, we're going to melt that snow. Now over the last week, another week of really cold weather. The purple here is 15 degrees or below, 15 degrees below normal or greater. So very cold week over the entire region. Now, I said many areas need additional winter recharge precipitation. I think the unshaded areas could use some, and definitely the yellow shaded areas, so definitely Kansas, Missouri, Illinois. The areas that don't need this would be parts of the upper Midwest, parts of Minnesota, small parts of South Dakota, very small parts of Nebraska and Iowa, Michigan, and especially the eastern Corn Belt, especially Ohio, which has been very wet going all the way back to last spring, actually. But we do need some, right in the central part, we do need some additional precipitation. Now this week we don't have as much of a southwest flow, and the reason why is we're going to be having a cold front passing through this weekend into early this week. Just a hint here of a little bit of a dip in the jet stream, but when I look at the shading, it's still mainly brown, so that's saying even if it's dipping a bit here, the jet stream's still further north than normal, so it looks like we're going to average above normal temperatures. Now there will be some variability. I know there's a front going through with some rain and snow. Behind that, temperatures are going to come down, but they're not going to be anywhere near what we've seen over the last number of weeks. Now with that southwest flow, here we go. We have a better chance of some rain with this front. This is early on Monday. You can see about where it's at. Showers and even some signs of rumbles of thunder along the leading edge. And then in the colder air, a stripe of some heavy snow. It's going to be a narrow band of heavy snow. You can see it right here. This is in the area of snow, but 1.4, that's a potential of a lot of snow in that region. Also note, not necessarily a lot of rain, but anything could help in this region, so we do have some needed rain over parts of Missouri and Illinois. So right now, here's the latest model output for the heaviest snow impacting Nebraska, parts of South Dakota and Minnesota into Wisconsin. Now the 6 to 10 day period looks not as much as southwest flow, but still above normal position of the jet stream. So right now it is indicating above normal temperatures in that 6 to 10 day range. And then as we get into the end of January into early February, not a whole lot of change in the pattern. So this does not necessarily mean an overall consistently mild period, but it's going to feel like it because it's been so cold. It is going to feel quite mild. There will be variability. We will occasionally have a front go through that'll bring the temperature down close to normal. But right now it looks like the coldest air, the below normal anomalies, are going to be retreating back into this region here, North Dakota, South Dakota, especially the western sections of Nebraska. But it looks like the central and eastern Corn Belt predominantly near or above normal temperatures the latter part of the month of January into early February. So here's week 1 departures. Green means more rain or snow than normal, yellow less. And here's week 2. Models are indicating this somewhat wetter pattern. So as far as the summary here, cold front will be passing through. It's going to bring temperatures down. This weekend we're going to be unusually mild. It's going to bring them down, but still near or above normal even behind this front. So we're going to get some needed rain in spots. We're going to have some very heavy snow. These are winter storm warnings and watches. Overall, though, I think we're in a milder and a modestly, and I want to say modestly, this does not necessarily look like a wet pattern, but a modestly wetter pattern than we've had over the last month. So I hope that helps you this week with your planning. It does look like some nicer weather, at least 40 degrees sure feels better than 20s, I know that. And this weekend it even looks like some 50s before that front comes through. Have a great week.